Hey, my creative friends. I'm Shannon from shannonstudio.com, and I'm just a little bit this side of sick. My nose is all stuffed up, so I'm gonna be a little sniffy, and I kind of sound different, but maybe I don't sound different. It just sounds different to me. Let's see. We talk about creative tips, creative life tips, and so today, just before we talk about our tip today, I went to a cafe this morning, and you know what? I feel like I live a vacation. So I went to the cafe, and hey, Trisha. I was just saying I was sick a minute ago. I'm not super sick, but I think I'm trying to, and I'm like fighting it off for all I'm worth. Hey, Rose. So, anyways, went to cafes, my little Swedish life today, feeling like I'm living a vacation. Went to a cafe this morning, spent a couple hours there. It was, a lot of times the cafe is small, but they pack a lot of seating in there. But this one was actually really quiet. I was the only one, that stayed for a couple hours. But then there were some people who came in, but, they just very few. So it was just a nice, super quiet morning. And then I walked over to meet the boyfriend for our date lunch and walked past the ice skaters and the music playing from one of the somewhere, I don't even know. It's just great. I just have to say, it's just great. And I just felt really creative this morning, going through some things while I was working at the cafe. So, and I think I did put some of those pictures in my stories. You might see some of those. So we are going to talk about, I'm going to read you part of this story. This story is Grandma's Buttons from my family. Jerry, she has married my dad, Joseph, and she's spectacular. And I think taking care of her first husband's mother, which she got Alzheimer's for, I think, 13 years, that just really has given her a compassion and an insight, obviously insight, but just this compassion and just this kind nature. So I'll read just a little part of this of her book, Grandma's Buttons, as a lead in her. My connection's not very good. Is it working for you guys? So anyways, I think the guys might be on it upstairs. On anything that involved yarn. Using large tapestry needles and plastic canvases, they made yarn holders for facial tissue as well as toilet tissue holders. Then they knit blankets and crocheted. I know other people do this. We get hung up on what we can't do, what we don't have the capability to do. We get hung up on our limitations. And here she is, blind and older, and she's just going for it. She knows how to do it. I wanted to say blindfolded. That's a terrible joke. But, she knows how to do it, and it's not going to stop her because she can't see what she's doing. And I just am struck by that kind of push, that kind of drive to be creative. So there are a few things that I pulled out to talk about the limitations. Big Magic, Elizabeth Gilbert talks about she would always limit herself. She had this thing that she would talk about how she was limited. And then finally she said, basically, why am I arguing for my limitations? And then there's a quote that she has in her book, argue for your limitations and you get to keep them. So, if you have that limiting belief and you hold on to it, nobody's going to pry that out of your hands. Nobody can do that but you. Nobody can say, done, bye-bye limitations. You have to do something in order to get past that. My nose is, but creative calling. I think it's Jarvis Creativity is the process of learning to trust oneself, learning to trust yourself, to get past your limitations, to say, I can do this. I don't have to be limited by this thinking. And we get trapped. Like I said, we hold ourselves in those positions. Because it's true on the opposite. Some people can say stuff about us, can say all kinds of stuff about us. Somebody said I wasn't talented. You're no special talented. Why are you taking classes like that? They're stupid. Stuff like that. On this other hand, it's like it didn't matter they said those things because I didn't believe them. So it doesn't matter what people are saying. It's what, saying or not saying. It depends. It matters what we say about ourselves. So the tip tonight is to get past the limitations that you've put on yourself. Creative Calling book, I think it's Chase Jarvis, says, once you escape your limiting beliefs, there will be no stopping you. Yeah, that's so true. There are possibilities, and I look at what people do. So my Instagram feed, I've mentioned before, most of the people I follow are just creative people. And I have so much fun scrolling through my Instagram and just seeing I'm being amazed at creative people and what they're doing. And I'm like, oh man, that's creative. These people have gotten past their limiting beliefs. So there's another quote in Creativity, Flow, and the Psychology of Discovery and Invention. Is that not a long name for a book? Creativity, Flow, and the Psychology of Discovery and Invention. It's like, you don't want to write that. Anyways, it says, studies of the traits widely ascribed to creative people include tends to not know their own limitations. That's what creative people do. And we are all creative, so if you're not acting creative, then it must be something that's limiting that for you. So we're called tends to not know our own limitations, and that is so true. There are so many things I've done that I haven't known how to do. Rose and Trisha who are on, they'll know, like a parade float. It's like, I remember when Travis came and said, we want you to do this parade float. And I'm like, I've never done a parade float, but jump right in, and everybody jumps right in, and we do it. So it's just, I just can't get over that story of her being creative despite her being blind. And, her things didn't go win an award. They didn't go, earn lots of money. They didn't do a whole bunch of stuff, but they made her happy and they made somebody else happy. Tricia says, grouting your own tile. Yes. I remember learning how to tile. There's all kinds of things. There's still things I want to learn how to do, but yes, grouting your own tile, learning how to do things that you don't know how to do and not letting yourself be limited. So if somebody says, let's do something, say, okay, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how it'll turn out, but let's do it. So, and that reminds me of tomorrow. Tomorrow we're doing tile designs, like little tile designs. Tile's been around for centuries. And so there's a long history of tile. So I'm kind of excited to see what you guys see tomorrow. And so that I had to say that because I didn't say it. But I put it on my stories and I put it on the Facebook page. But going back to that, limitations. What do you feel like your limitations, or other people who they want to be creative, but they aren't? What are the limitations that are holding them back? Because they usually, it's ultimately them, but they usually have something. It's, I don't have time, something. So help me out and list some of those things. How did you get past any limiting beliefs you have? And let's look at that. So I think I'm done talking tonight because my voice, and I think I'm ready to start having a little coughing fit. So, but I'm not going to let my little sickness, because I'm not that sick, but I'm not going to let it limit me. And I decided to still come on. And it's only temporary. This isn't, yeah. Anyways, remember you have a creative heartbeat, so listen for it. And I will likely be here tomorrow. Unless I'm like laid out in bed, but even then you can get up and talk a little bit. So I'll be back tomorrow. I'll see you. Bye.